Hello and welcome to Maple Flavored Yoga. My name is Andy and this class is going to be all about opening up and balancing our heart chakra. This chakra is found in the very center of our chest, as you can imagine, and the name for this chakra in Sanskrit is Anahata. So as always, we will come into this moment, fully arrive in this space, prepared to invest in our bodies, minds, souls. Simply observing whatever is happening inside of you. Connecting to your breath. The element for this chakra is air, so breath always has a special meaning with yoga, but especially with this chakra. I would also like to send my gratitude to the people of South Asia who created and cultivated this beautiful practice that we will get to share with today. If your eyes are closed, you can blink them open, taking in the surroundings. And to begin, instead of doing a usual cat-cow, we're going to start off doing some chest rolls. So on the inhale, we'll come forward. Exhale, we'll move through the back space. Inhale, chest will come forward. Exhale, round back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Really enjoying this movement. Noticing any spots in your body that are feeling tight. This simple movement will invite some nice nutrient and oxygen-rich blood into those spaces and go the other way. Inhale, chest comes forward. Exhale, back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. A few more breaths now at your own pace. We'll come back to center. Once we arrive back in the middle, we'll place our left hand on the mat. Inhale, our right arm up. Exhale, bend to the side here. Inhale, back to center. Switch to other side. Exhale, bend. Inhale to center. Exhale, bend. We want to make sure that our sit bones are still keeping contact with the floor here. So you don't have to come all the way down, doesn't matter how far down you come as always. As long as you're opening up that side body, inviting some movement. Moving around that stagnant blood and energy. Maybe been sitting there from your day at work, or maybe it was your day off and you've been hanging on the couch with a good book or movies, which is always nice. Once again, we'll come back to center and just notice what that simple movement, what that does to your body. Just that little bit of movement gives you, like, gives me anyway, this might not be everyone's experience, it gives me a really nice, just like, I needed that. Even if at first you were reluctant to move, I know I get like that too. We'll make our way onto our forearms and we'll step back into a forearm plank. So making sure that We're not coming up too high. Core is really activated here. And we'll slowly walk up into a dolphin pose. And you can stretch your legs here. Pedal them out like you would downward dog. If this feels really uncomfortable for you, you can always come into a high plank and into downward dog. We'll hold here for 3 breaths. Once again, we'll walk out to our forearm plank. Hold here for 3. If your core is shaking, mine is too. We'll walk up back into that dolphin pose. Hold for 3 breaths again. Walk back into your forearm plank. This time we'll bring our hips to the floor. We're gonna come into Sphinx pose. So elbows are under shoulders. Elbows are also shoulder width apart. Shoulders, we're not sinking into our toes, we're growing out the tops of our heads, nice long spines, legs are activated, hips are grounded to the floor. This is a really nice heart opener. If you're like, I'm not really feeling much here, what you want to do is pull your hands towards your hips, and that will pull your chest through, opening up your heart. Do 3 more big breaths here. If you're a visual person, you can visualize green or a light pink. That is the colors that are associated with the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is responsible for love and joy and compassion. So we'll tuck our toes here. And we're gonna come back into a puppy pose. So you can keep your toes tucked, and this is also called melting heart pose. So we want to keep our hips kind of, not, it doesn't have to be right over our knees, but in that general area. We don't want them to be back like this. Arms are out front, and then you just gently allow your heart to sink to the floor. If this is really intense, it can be quite intense for your shoulders. You can come back into a child's pose with your hands out front as well, and that's going to give you all the same benefits and chest opening. If you'd like, you can bring your knees wide and let your chest kind of sink down into the floor. This might be a more comfortable and accessible option for you. So select what everyone feels best in your body as always, or try both. I'm a fan of wide shoes, and you can do both. Cake and eat it too, right? So you can either bring your forehead down to the floor, or you can also bring your chin. So again, yogi's choice. We'll stay here for 6 breaths. As always, you can always come into child's pose if this eventually gets too much or uncomfortable in your body. So we'll do 6 nice breaths here. From here, we will come into a child's pose. Bring our shoulders down by our sides if that feels good. Bring your forehead to the mat and just let that, whatever that is that you're feeling, I'm sure after that you're feeling something, let that saturate your body and allow itself to dissipate. If it feels good, you can also roll your shoulders back a few times to assist that energy to be moved throughout your body. And take 3 breaths here. It's really important to note that anytime you're doing heart chakra work, it can be a very intense experience. I know I've felt a lot of exceptionally intense emotions during or after heart chakra work. So it's totally normal. You're not losing your mind if you're maybe feeling a little bit more than maybe other times that you've practiced yoga. So just a little FYI for you. So again, I'm going to come into a forearm plank. You can come into a high plank here if that feels better for you. So from here, we're going to come into a wild thing if you want to give that a try. So we're going to lift our right foot up and step it behind our left, and our left toes are going to point to the opposite side of the mat. And then we're just going to open up our heart. Some 3 big breaths here. Really pushing energy out of our fingertips. After 3 breaths, you can make your way back to your forearm plank. From here, we're going to ground our right foot. Inhale our left leg up, step it behind our right. And again, inhale, opening up our heart. 3 breaths here. And make our way back into that forearm plank. Bring our knees to the ground. We'll come back into child's pose. You can keep your arms out front or down by your sides. Again, that's a pretty big shape, so you might be feeling the feels in this class, which is really good. The only way to release energy and emotions is to really allow them to fully process. So it can be messy work, but it's necessary. Here we'll come to seat on our feet. We're going to make our way into a low lunge. We're going to bring our right foot forward. Left knee is still on the ground. If this feels uncomfortable for your knee, you can always grab a blanket to put underneath it there. Underneath of your knee for some extra padding, we're going to take our thumbs and hook them and inhale up, allowing our hearts to open up to the sky, almost like there's a little string pulling it up there. The higher you lift your heart, the less chance you're going to be dumping into your low back into this heart opener. So from here, we want to really make sure that our right toe mound is grounded. We're going to tuck our left toes, really push into the ground and come up into a high lunge. Whew. Really working that. It feels good though. 3 breaths. Exhale, our knee will come back down to the mat. Hands are placed on the mat. We'll step back. Come back onto our knees, palms facing up, and just allow that once again to do what it's doing. Feel the feels. Feels good, I gotta say, it really does. I was getting ready for this class, I was like, I really need to do this today. It worked out really nicely. So we're gonna step our left foot forward. Coming into that, whatever way you hooked your thumbs last time, we'll hook the opposite way. So we wanna make sure that we're always balancing everything out. Each side gets utilized here. 3 breaths in this low lunge. So make sure that our left toe mound is really rooted. Tuck our back toes and push up into high lunge, heart open. Allowing that air element to really air out our hearts here. Exhale, slowly in control, we'll come down. Once again, hands to the mat, and we'll roll right onto our bellies here this time, and right onto our backs. Make your way there, take your time. There's no rush. All right. Whew. Feels really good. Wow, I really needed this class. Okay, so from here we're going to come into a fish pose. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our hands so they're kind of tucked under, not right underneath of our glutes, but maybe more of like the glute med, low back area. We want to have our elbows coming onto the mat. Legs are really charged here. So it's not just like, oh, it's my upper body, my legs can do whatever. Really, anytime you're doing a back bend or heart opener, your legs are your foundation as always. So from here, we allow our heart some space. We're gonna breathe into it. Again, allowing it to float up as high as possible. And just let your head come back as long as it feels okay for your neck. And breathe into this shape. One last inhale. Exhale, let something go. Your next inhale, slowly, slowly, slowly. We're gonna come up, back to seated. Under sit bones once again. We've done a lot of opening. So now you have to do at least a little bit of closing, because we don't want to leave our heart chakra blasting wide open. So we need to balance it out a little. We moved a lot of energy there. So we need to do a counterbalance. So we're going to do a forward fold. So an inhale, stretching nice and tall. And exhale, leading with your heart once again. Fold forward. We want to be hinging from our hips. We don't want to be curling our spine. Nice flat back. Doesn't matter how far down you come. That's not the purpose. Your heart should be shining onto your toes. That sounds really weird, but it keeps that way. It keeps that so that you're not curling through your spine. If your heart and your collarbones are shining towards your little piggies, it just keeps your form really good. So we'll take 3 more breaths here. Your next inhale, reaching tall with our fingertips. We'll rise back to seated. We're gonna make our way slowly onto our backs. Grabbing the backs of our legs, we'll roll down nice and slow, controlled. Give yourself a hug. You can rock back and forth if that feels good. We cultivated a lot of self-love here today, which is amazing. I think there's no such thing as too much self-love. It's a difficult thing to do, so it's good to spend some time doing that. So we'll bring our arms out into a T shape, or as always, you can bring your arms in a cactus shape. We'll drop our legs over to the left. Just allow them, if they glide away from your body a little bit, that's okay. You don't have to, this is the relaxation part. Just let that go. You can look up or over your right shoulder. This twist will help digest some of the things that we have found here today. Inhale, we'll come back to center. Exhale, drop to the right or to the opposite side. And then select your gaze that suits you best. Breathing into your belly here still, nice and gentle though. Utilizing that compassion. Pretty amazing how much compassion we can have for other people in our lives, but oftentimes we do not afford ourselves that same compassion. So it's important to allow ourselves to be human. We are imperfect, and that's okay. Inhale, we'll come back to center nice and slowly. We'll come into our final pose, our corpse pose. So find your most comfy corpse. Also sounds really weird. So nice long neck. This doesn't feel good for your low back. You can place your feet flat on the floor and let your knees support each other. Or you can always place something underneath of your knees like yoga blocks or blankets or pillows or whatever you wish. Release any control that you had on the breath and just drop in. To rise and fall within yourself. No need to change or reshape the existence of what is happening inside of you. Allowing whatever that is to be met with love and understanding. begin to invite some small movements back into your physical self, wiggling your fingers and your toes. And roll your wrists and your ankles if that feels good. And give yourself a great big stretch like you do in the morning. Ooh. One at a time, you'll bring your knees to your chest and give them a nice, gentle hug and rock from side to side if that feels yummy. Then when you're ready, you can roll to whichever side feels best for you and take a breath or two there. Eventually make your way back to seated. You can keep your eyes closed or have a soft gaze. Once again, observe whatever your experience is at this moment. We'll take both our hands and place them right onto your chest, over your heart chakra. Feel what that feels like. That heart that beats, that gives you life. Your arms and your hands are an extension of your heart chakra. So when you hug someone, let's say, you're literally wrapping them in your heart. And when you're doing things, you are putting your heart into it, whether or not you're cognizant of that or not. That's what is happening. So that's why it's important to try and be mindful of that. I mean, you can't do it all day, every day, but it's a really beautiful and lovely concept, and something I try to be mindful of when I can, within reason. So, with that being said, while your hands are still on your heart, I would like you to repeat after me. I am seen. I am love. I am divine. I really want to thank you for allowing me to assist in your yoga practice. Wherever this life takes you, I hope that you take care.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Maple Flavored Yoga.